Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking about crude oil pipeline. We're going to explore why these massive underground networks are so vulnerable to internal corrosion. And we're also going to be looking at a new technology called QIC Assess. That's changing the way we predict and prevent this hidden threat.
It's a game changer, for sure.
The data from PHMSA, that's the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration,
Right.
paints a pretty alarming picture. So clearly the standard industry methods aren't really cutting it.
No, they're not. And one of the main reasons those traditional methods fall short is that they fail to account for the dynamic nature of pipeline operations.
Okay, so you're saying it's not a static system.
Exactly. Pipelines aren't just static tubes. They experience fluctuations in pressure, temperature, and flow rates, all of which can significantly impact corrosion.
So it's not just about what's in the pipeline, but also how it's being operated.
Precisely.
Okay.
And that's where QIC Assess comes in.
Okay, so let's get into that.
Sure.
How does it actually work?
So unlike traditional models that often assume constant steady-state conditions, QIC Assess excels in analyzing what we call non-steady-state operations. It takes into account those real-world variations in flow shutdowns and other factors that can dramatically influence corrosion. Integrates hydraulic modeling software like PIPESIM and OLGA-S with advanced corrosion algorithms to create a very detailed and accurate picture of the pipeline's internal environment.
So it's almost like creating a virtual model of the pipeline.
Exactly.
And then using that model to predict where and why corrosion is likely to occur.
Precisely. It's like having a high-resolution map of the pipeline's vulnerabilities, highlighting those areas that need the most attention.
Now, we talked about how the fluids being transported play a role in corrosion.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure. Crude oil itself isn't the main culprit. It's the mixture of water, sediments, and other impurities that come along with it. This creates a kind of corrosive cocktail that can wreak havoc on the pipeline walls.
And it's not just about the presence of these corrosive elements, right?
Right.
It's also about how they behave within the pipeline, especially when the flow isn't constant.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
One of the key insights QIC Assess provides is its ability to model a phenomenon called oil-water slippage.
Oil-water slippage. I'm not familiar with that term.
So imagine the oil and water flowing through the pipeline. Because oil is lighter than water, it tends to move faster, creating areas where water separates and stagnates along the bottom of the pipe.
So you have these pockets of water just sitting there, becoming breeding grounds for corrosion.
Exactly. And traditional models often fail to capture this dynamic because they assume a homogeneous mixture of oil and water flowing at a constant speed. QIC Assess, on the other hand, uses sophisticated mechanistic three-phase flow correlations to accurately map this oil-water slippage, pinpointing those stagnant zones where corrosion is most likely to occur. QIC Assess also takes into account episodic ingress.
Episodic ingress. That's a new one. What is that?
Imagine a sudden influx of biomass sludge or debris entering the pipeline from an upstream storage facility.
So it's like a wave of contaminants washing through the system.
Precisely. And this can dramatically accelerate corrosion, particularly when combined with the corrosive agents already present in the pipeline. QIC Assess helps identify these episodic ingress events and assess their potential impact on corrosion rates. QIC Assess provides the tools and insights needed to manage these risks effectively.
Okay, so QIC Assess is sounding pretty impressive, but what does it actually recommend doing about all this?
That's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
QIC Assess doesn't just identify the problems, it helps us find the solutions. It provides targeted recommendations for mitigating corrosion, ensuring that we're focusing our efforts where they matter most.
So it's not just about sounding the alarm, it's about providing a roadmap for action.
Exactly. And one of the key recommendations that often emerges from a QIC Assess analysis is increasing the frequency of something called pigging.
Pigging.
Pigging involves sending a device, often called a pig, through the pipeline to clean out debris and accumulated water.
Got it. So QIC Assess helps determine how often these pipeline pigs need to make their rounds to keep things clean and corrosion-free.
That's a big part of it. But there's another powerful tool in the QIC Assess arsenal, and this one is particularly effective when dealing with those pesky intermittent flow conditions and oxygen ingress that we talked about earlier. It's called meg-monoethylene glycol. Meg is a chemical that can be continuously injected into the pipeline. It mixes with the water that's inevitably present. And here's the really fascinating part. Even when the flow stops and that water settles, this meg-water mixture remains non-corrosive.
So it's like creating a protective shield even in those stagnant zones where corrosion loves to hang out.
Precisely. And this is a huge shift from the standard industry practice of simply injecting corrosion inhibitors, which, as we've seen, often aren't effective in these complex conditions. That's the power of QIC Assess. It's about being proactive, data-driven, and understanding the unique challenges of each pipeline. It's about optimizing pipeline integrity management, ensuring that we're doing everything we can to keep these vital energy arteries flowing safely and reliably.
This has been an incredible journey so far. We've learned about the hidden dangers lurking within these seemingly simple pipelines, the shortcomings of traditional methods, and the revolutionary power of QIC Assess and MEG. It's clear that we're on the cusp of a major shift in how we approach pipeline corrosion control.
Yes, exactly. QIC Assess excels in analyzing what we call non-steady state pipeline operations.
Okay.
It takes all those real-world variations into account. And remember how we talked about those stagnant zones that form due to oil-water slippage? QIC Assess uses sophisticated modeling techniques to pinpoint exactly where those zones are likely to occur and how severe the corrosion could become. QIC Assess also provides specific recommendations for mitigation.
So it's a proactive solution
Absolutely.
for pipeline operators.
It empowers them to take action before corrosion leads to costly and potentially dangerous failures.
And I think one of the most remarkable things about QIC Assess is its ability to model those intermittent flow conditions.
Yes, exactly.
Remember how we were talking about how variations in flow can create those stagnant zones?
Right.
Where water settles and corrosion thrives?
Precisely.
And then those non-flow periods?
Yeah.
That allows oxygen to get in.
Right. It makes things even worse.
Making the situation much worse.
QIC Assess takes all of that into account, giving operators a much clearer understanding of the true corrosion risks they face. And it's not just about preventing failures, it's about optimizing maintenance activities and ensuring that resources are being used effectively.
That makes sense.
If you know exactly where and why corrosion is happening, you can focus your maintenance efforts on those critical areas.
Right, and that brings us to another critical aspect of QIC Assess, its cost-saving benefits.
Okay.
I know safety is the top priority when it comes to pipelines.
But let's be honest, cost is always a factor.
It's not just the cost of fixing the pipeline itself. It's the lost revenue from production downtime, the potential environmental damage, and the reputational hit a company can take.
It's a ripple effect.
Precisely. And QIC Assess helps mitigate these costs by preventing those corrosion-related failures from happening in the first place. But how does QIC Assess actually integrate with existing pipeline integrity programs?
Yeah, I imagine it would require a pretty significant shift in thinking for many operators.
You're right, it does require a shift in mindset, moving from a reactive to a proactive approach.
Okay.
But the good news is that QIC Assess is designed to complement existing pipeline integrity management programs, not replace them.
So you're throwing out the old playbook, just adding a new tool to the arsenal. Most pipeline operators already have programs that include regular inspections using inline inspection tools or smart pigs, as they're often called, to check for corrosion and other defects. QIC Assess works in conjunction with these inspections by adding a layer of predictive modeling and analysis.
So you're taking a standard inspection report
Right.
and adding a whole new dimension of insight.
The inspection might tell you there's corrosion present, but QIC Assess can tell you why it's happening, how severe it's likely to become, and what you can do to prevent it from getting worse.
Wow. So QIC Assess helps operators understand the root causes of corrosion and develop targeted mitigation strategies that are specific to their pipeline and its operating conditions.
Exactly.
It's like having a personalized corrosion management plan tailored to the unique needs of each pipeline.
It's about empowering those on the front lines with the knowledge and skills they need to make informed decisions and implement the right mitigation strategies. This has been an incredible journey so far, and I'm already feeling much more informed about the complexities of pipeline corrosion and the innovative solutions being developed to address it.
Absolutely. Let's bring this conversation down to earth and see how this technology is making a difference in the field. Do you have any cases you can share?
I do. One that comes to mind involves a major pipeline operator here in the U.S. They were struggling with persistent corrosion issues in a particular segment of their network. They had tried all the standard industry practices, but nothing seemed to be working. Corrosion rates remained stubbornly high, and they were facing the prospect of costly repairs or even pipeline replacement.
So they were at their wits' end looking for a new solution. That's where QIC Assess came in.
QIC Assess showed that the corrosion was primarily concentrated in areas with intermittent flow and oxygen ingress. These were conditions that their previous assessment methods hadn't fully captured, and it explained why their traditional mitigation strategies weren't working.
This is why QIC Assess shone a spotlight on those hidden vulnerabilities that had been flying under the radar.
Precisely. And armed with this newfound understanding, the operator was able to implement more targeted mitigation strategies. They increased pigging frequency in those vulnerable areas and implemented a program of MEG injection to combat oxygen ingress.
And I'm guessing those changes made a big difference.
They did. The operator saw a significant reduction in corrosion rates, and they were able to extend the life of their pipelines, saving millions of dollars in potential repair and replacement costs. And it's an ongoing process. As QIC Assess continues to evolve and improve, so too must the skills and knowledge of those who use it.
It's like any specialized tool. You need the right training and experience to get the most out of it. This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of crude oil pipeline corrosion. I feel like I've learned so much about the challenges, the innovations, and the importance of proactive management.
It's been my pleasure. And I hope our listeners have also gained a new appreciation for the critical role that technology like QIC Assess plays in safeguarding our energy infrastructure.
To all our listeners out there, if you're involved in the world of pipelines, take this as a call to action. Explore how QIC Assess can revolutionize your approach to corrosion control.
It's not just about preventing failures, it's about ensuring a safe and reliable flow of energy for the future.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and let's keep those pipelines flowing smoothly.